The F.W.Schuerenberg House in Brenham, Texas, is steeped in history, but it's the ghost stories that truly capture the imagination. Built in the late 1800s, the house served as a vibrant gathering place for social events, reflecting the life of its original owner, F.W.Schuerenberg, a prominent businessman in the community. As the story goes, F.W.Schuerenberg was known for his hospitality, often entertaining friends and influential figures in the grand parlor. After his passing, the house continued to be a social hub, but residents began to notice strange occurrences. Staff and visitors reported unexplained sounds, soft footsteps echoing in empty rooms, the faint sound of laughter drifting through the halls, and even the sensation of being watched. One particularly chilling tale involves a group of guests who attended a special event at the house. As the evening wore on, several attendees claimed to have seen a shadowy figure in period clothing moving gracefully through the rooms. It appeared to be a woman, her features indistinct but her presence palpable. Guests felt a sudden chill and were overcome by a sense of nostalgia, as if they were being transported back in time. On another occasion, a tour guide leading a group through the house felt an unusual draft in the parlor. As she recounted the history of the house, she noticed a photograph on the wall sway slightly, despite the absence of wind. When she approached to steady it, the room grew inexplicably cold, and she felt a soft brush against her arm, as if someone were gently urging her along. Local legends also tell of strange happenings during the night. Caretakers have reported hearing whispers and laughter echoing in the stillness, and some have even claimed to see lights flickering in the windows long after the house had closed for the evening. Those who have stayed overnight describe an overwhelming sense of comfort mixed with an eerie awareness that they were not alone. Visitors have come to embrace the ghostly tales, often leaving notes and offerings at a small table in the entryway, hoping to connect with the spirit of F.W.Schuerenberg or perhaps the enigmatic woman in white. The atmosphere of the house is a blend of history and intrigue, where the past feels alive and the spirits of those who once called it home linger, inviting others to share in their story. The F.W.Schuerenberg House remains a beloved landmark in Brenham, drawing curious visitors eager to uncover the mysteries that lie within its walls. Whether it's the ghostly whispers or the palpable sense of history, the house offers a unique experience, one that keeps the legacy of its former inhabitants alive and well. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the F.W.Schuerenberg House, the atmosphere grew thick with anticipation. It was a night like no other, as the local historical society had organized a ghost tour, drawing in thrill-seekers and history enthusiasts alike. Jake, a young local with a fascination for the paranormal, was among the crowd gathered outside the house. He had heard the stories, the whispers, the shadowy figures, the inexplicable chills, and he couldn't resist the chance to experience it for himself. As the tour guide, an older woman named Clara with a wealth of knowledge about the house led the group inside. Jake felt a thrill of excitement. Clara began her tour in the grand parlor, sharing anecdotes about F.W.Schuerenberg and the vibrant gatherings that had taken place there. "This room was once filled with laughter and music," she said, her voice echoing slightly in the stillness. "But even in its joyful past, it holds secrets that may not be ready to rest." As she spoke, Jake felt an undeniable chill creep up his spine. He glanced around, noting how the flickering candlelight seemed to dance along the walls, casting eerie shadows. He couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching. Moving to the dining room, Clara recounted a chilling tale about a dinner party that ended abruptly when a sudden gust of wind blew through the open windows, extinguishing the candles and sending guests into a panic. "Some say it was a sign from beyond," she remarked, a knowing glint in her eye. A reminder that the spirits of this house are still very much present. As the tour continued, Jake couldn't help but notice the little details, the slight creak of the floorboards, the way the air seemed to grow heavier in certain rooms. He felt an electric energy building around him, heightening his senses. When they reached the attic, Clara warned everyone that it was often considered the most haunted part of the house. "Many have reported seeing the figure of a woman in white up here, often watching over the old trunk filled with letters and keepsakes," she said. "Some believe she is Maria, F.W.Schuerenberg's daughter, who was said to have had a special connection to the house. The group shuffled into the attic, the dim light casting shadows over the old wooden beams. As Clara spoke, Jake felt compelled to explore further. He stepped away from the group, drawn to the trunk in the corner. It was covered in dust, as if it had not been touched in years. Curiosity overcame him as he knelt to inspect it. Just as he reached for the latch, a sudden chill swept through the attic, causing him to pause. The temperature dropped dramatically, and he heard a soft, melodic whisper, almost like a lullaby, floating through the air. His heart raced, caught between fear and intrigue. "Jake, what are you doing?" Clara called, noticing him at the trunk. The group turned their attention to him, a mix of curiosity and concern in their eyes. "I just wanted to see what's inside," he replied, his voice steady despite the tremor in his hands. Clara approached, her expression a blend of caution and understanding. "That trunk holds more than just old letters. It holds memories. Some say that opening it can stir the spirits." Jake hesitated, glancing back at the group, who seemed equally captivated and wary. The air felt charged, as if the very fabric of the past was waiting for him to make a decision. With a deep breath, he unlatched the trunk, the sound echoing in the silence. As he lifted the lid, a wave of cold air washed over him, and the whispers grew louder, wrapping around him like a soft blanket. Inside the trunk, he found a collection of delicate letters, each carefully tied with a faded ribbon. The names on the envelopes were familiar friends, family, and notable figures from the town's history. "What's in there?" someone asked, their voice barely above a whisper. Jake pulled out a letter, its edges yellowed with age. "I think it's a letter from Maria," he said, holding it up. "It feels important." As he unfolded the fragile paper, the group leaned in closer, their breaths held in anticipation. The elegant script told a story of dreams, aspirations, and a longing for connection. But as he read further, he noticed something odd: references to a hidden secret, a promise made to someone long gone. Suddenly, the attic door creaked open on its own, startling everyone. A cool breeze rushed in, extinguishing a few candles in the corner. The group gasped, eyes wide, but Jake felt a strange sense of calm. It was as if the spirit of Maria herself was urging him to uncover more. "Clara, what do you know about this?" he asked, feeling a surge of determination. Clara's expression shifted as she stepped closer. "I've heard tales of a hidden room in the house, one that contains the truth behind the Schuerenberg family's legacy. Some believe that Maria's spirit guards it, protecting the secrets of her past." The group exchanged excited glances, a mix of fear and exhilaration coursing through them. Jake felt the pull of adventure. He was on the brink of uncovering something significant. "Where do we start looking?" Jake asked, his pulse quickening. Clara pointed toward a set of old, dusty stairs leading down from the attic. "Legend has it that the hidden room is in the cellar. But be cautious, those who seek the truth must be prepared for what they may find." With a mix of trepidation and excitement, the group descended the stairs, the shadows closing in around them. Jake could feel the presence of the spirits, their stories waiting to be unveiled. As they reached the cellar door, he glanced back at the others, their faces illuminated by the flickering candlelight, and nodded. Together, they would uncover the mysteries of the F.W.Schuerenberg House and perhaps, in doing so, find a deeper understanding of the spirits who called it home. Don't forget to subscribe and like if you liked this story. As Jake pushed open the heavy cellar door, a wave of cool, musty air rushed past him, filling his lungs with the scent of aged wood and earth. The dim light from their candles flickered against the stone walls, casting long shadows that danced eerily in the corners of the cellar. Jake could feel a mix of excitement and apprehension as they stepped inside. The space was vast, with shelves lining the walls, filled with dusty jars and old tools that hinted at a bygone era. Clara led the way, her flashlight beam cutting through the darkness, illuminating remnants of the past. "This place hasn't been disturbed in years," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "We may find something of great significance down here." Jake's heart raced as they navigated through the maze of old furniture and boxes. The atmosphere felt thick with history, as if the very walls were holding their breath, waiting for someone to uncover their secrets. He felt the weight of the trunk's letters in his pocket, a tangible connection to the past and the mystery they were about to unravel. After a few moments of searching, Clara paused by a large wooden crate tucked in the far corner. "I've heard rumors about this crate," she said, her fingers brushing against the worn wood. "Some believe it holds a key to understanding the Schuerenberg family's legacy." With a sense of purpose, Clara pried the lid open, revealing an assortment of old photographs, documents, and what appeared to be a journal. Jake leaned closer, his eyes wide with anticipation. The journal seemed to be filled with the writings of F.W.Schuerenberg himself. "Let's see what secrets you hold," Clara said, flipping through the pages. As she read aloud, they learned about F.W.'s dreams for his family, his thoughts on community, and even his struggles. But then, Clara's voice faltered as she stumbled upon a passage that caught everyone's attention. "It says here that he was keeping something hidden from his family, something that could change everything we know about them." Her eyes widened in disbelief. He mentioned a hidden room, a place where he kept valuables and perhaps secrets he wanted to protect. Jake's curiosity surged. "Do you think it could be in this cellar?" he asked, glancing around as if the shadows might reveal the answers. "Possibly," Clara replied, a mix of excitement and caution in her tone. "But we have to be careful. If there's one thing the spirits have shown us, it's that they guard their secrets closely." The group began to search more intently, moving boxes and crates aside, feeling the anticipation build. Jake felt a strange energy in the air, as if the very spirits of F.W. and Maria were urging them forward. After several minutes of searching, they stumbled upon a loose floorboard near the back wall. Clara knelt down, pulling at the edges. "This feels different," she said, excitement bubbling in her voice. With a few determined tugs, the board shifted, revealing a small cavity beneath. "Help me," she urged, and together they pried it open. Inside, they found a small, ornate box covered in intricate carvings that seemed to glow softly in the candlelight. Jake felt a shiver run down his spine. "What do you think is in there?" he asked, barely able to contain his excitement. "I don't know, but it looks important," Clara replied, her fingers trembling as she reached for the box. Just as she lifted it out, the air grew suddenly colder, and the candles flickered violently, casting wild shadows on the walls. A whisper swept through the cellar, an echo of voices from the past. "Did you hear that?" someone gasped, their eyes wide with fear. Clara nodded, her expression serious. "We need to be respectful. Whatever is in this box could be tied to their spirits." As she carefully opened the box, a bright light emanated from within, illuminating the entire cellar. The group gasped collectively, momentarily blinded by the brilliance. When the light faded, they peered into the box, revealing a collection of old letters, jewels, and a delicate locket that shimmered softly. Jake reached for the locket, feeling a connection to the past wash over him. "This must have belonged to Maria," he murmured, entranced by its beauty. Just then, a soft melody began to fill the air, a haunting lullaby that resonated through the cellar. The group exchanged startled glances, realizing it was the same tune they had heard earlier in the attic. The atmosphere shifted, the coldness giving way to warmth, as if the spirits were acknowledging their discovery. Clara carefully picked up one of the letters, her hands shaking slightly. "This is addressed to Maria," she said, her voice filled with awe. "It speaks of love, dreams, and a promise." As she began to read, the cellar seemed to come alive. The whispers grew louder, weaving in and out of Clara's words, creating a tapestry of stories that echoed through the space. It was as if the spirits were sharing their history with the living, urging them to understand their legacy. The group stood transfixed, the lullaby and the letters intertwining, bridging the gap between past and present. Jake felt a profound connection to the Schuerenberg family, as if he were becoming part of their story. But as Clara continued reading, a sudden thud reverberated through the cellar, startling them all. The ground shook slightly, and a shadow darted across the wall, sending a shiver through Jake. "What was that?" he whispered, his heart racing. Clara's eyes widened. It's like they don't want us to know everything. We may have disturbed something that should have remained hidden. The whispers turned urgent, echoing around them, and the atmosphere grew tense. Jake realized that they were not merely uncovering history. They were stepping into a mystery that had been carefully guarded for generations. With the locket still in his hand and the letters spilling secrets of love and loss, he knew they had to proceed with caution. What other secrets lay hidden in the depths of the Schuerenberg house? What truths would they uncover, and what price would they pay for the knowledge they sought? Determined to uncover the full story, they steeled themselves for whatever lay ahead, ready to face the spirits and the mysteries that awaited them. Little did they know that the deeper they delved, the more they would be tested by both the living and the lingering spirits of the past. With Clara holding the letter, the air around them felt charged, as if the very fabric of time was bending to reveal the truth. Jake gripped the locket tightly, sensing that they were on the brink of discovering something monumental. Clara's voice trembled as she read aloud from the letter. "My dearest Maria, I have hidden this from you, but the time has come to share the truth. The love we built together holds secrets that could change our family's legacy." Suddenly, another loud thud echoed through the cellar, and the temperature dropped even further. The group huddled closer, hearts racing. The whispers grew louder, a chorus of voices pleading, warning them to turn back. "Whatever is in this letter, it clearly means a lot to them," Jake said, his voice steady despite the fear that gripped him. "Maybe it's a clue to what's been hidden here." Clara nodded, her eyes fixed on the letter. "If we can find out what he was hiding, we might understand why the spirits are restless. It could be tied to Maria and F.W.'s past." Determined, Jake encouraged everyone to look around for more clues. They began searching the shelves and crates, pulling out dusty old boxes and artifacts. As they rummaged through, they uncovered more letters, photographs, and a few more trinkets, all telling a story of love, ambition, and tragedy. In one of the boxes, Jake found another journal, this one belonging to Maria. Its pages were filled with her thoughts, hopes, and dreams. But there were also references to a secret she had discovered about her father's past, a hidden fortune tied to the family's history that F.W. had kept from her. "Guys, look at this," Jake exclaimed, sharing the journal. She knew something was up. She must have been searching for answers. As Clara continued reading the first letter, the details began to connect. F.W. was afraid that revealing the truth about their fortune would bring danger to the family. It seems he buried the knowledge along with the riches, hoping to protect them. Suddenly, the temperature plummeted again, and a soft, mournful wail echoed through the cellar. The group froze, their breaths caught in their throats. They could feel the weight of the spirits pressing in around them, their sorrow palpable. Maybe they just want their story told," Clara suggested, her voice barely a whisper. "They've been waiting for someone to uncover the truth." With newfound resolve, Jake and the others gathered around Clara, urging her to continue reading. The atmosphere shifted once more, a sense of urgency in the air as the spirits seemed to guide them toward understanding. As Clara finished the letter, the final lines struck a chord in their hearts. "If anything happens to me, promise you'll find the truth and protect our legacy." Jake felt the locket grow warm in his hand, a feeling of connection to Maria washing over him. What if the locket holds a key to where the treasure is hidden? He wondered aloud. "Let's examine it closely," Clara said, her eyes gleaming with determination. They gathered around the small trinket, inspecting it for any signs or symbols that could lead them to the hidden fortune. Just then, Jake noticed a tiny clasp on the back of the locket. "There's something here," he said excitedly, carefully prying it open. Inside was a small piece of parchment, tightly folded. He unfolded it, revealing a crude map and a series of cryptic instructions. "This looks like it could lead us to the hidden treasure," he exclaimed, excitement bubbling in his voice. The group leaned in, studying the map closely. It appeared to outline the property, with markings that suggested a location not far from the house itself, a spot near the old oak tree in the backyard. "Let's go," Clara urged, the thrill of discovery propelling them forward. They climbed out of the cellar, their hearts racing with anticipation. As they burst out into the night air, the moon cast an ethereal glow over the yard, illuminating the ancient oak tree that had stood watch over the property for generations. Jake felt a sense of reverence as they approached it, knowing they were about to uncover a piece of history. Using the map as their guide, they began to dig near the tree's roots, their excitement palpable. With each shovelful of dirt, the atmosphere around them shifted, and the whispers of the spirits seemed to grow fainter, as if they were holding their breath, waiting for the truth to be revealed. After several minutes of digging, the shovel hit something solid. "I think I found it," Jake shouted, adrenaline coursing through him. They quickly cleared away the dirt to reveal a weathered wooden chest, its surface adorned with intricate carvings. With a collective effort, they pried it open, and a warm, golden light spilled out. Inside lay an array of precious items, jewelry, coins, and documents that chronicled the Schuerenberg family's history and achievements. As they stared in awe at their discovery, a calmness enveloped them. The spirits seemed to be at peace, their whispers fading into soft echoes of gratitude. Jake felt a surge of warmth wash over him, knowing they had not only uncovered a treasure, but also the legacy of the Schuerenberg family. Clara turned to the group, her eyes shining. "We have to honor their story. We need to share this with the community." With renewed purpose, they carefully packed the items back into the chest and made their way back to the house. The night air felt lighter, and the shadows that had once loomed seemed to recede, replaced by a sense of fulfillment. In the weeks that followed, they organized a special event to reveal their findings. The community gathered at the F.W.Schuerenberg House, eager to hear the stories of the past. Jake, Clara, and their friends shared the history they had uncovered, presenting the treasure and the letters that revealed the family's legacy. As they spoke, a sense of connection filled the room. The spirits of F.W. and Maria felt present, watching over the gathering with pride. Their stories, once buried in shadows, were now illuminated and celebrated, ensuring that their legacy would live on in the hearts of the community. And as the night concluded, Jake knew they had forged a bond that transcended time, a connection between the living and the spirits of the past, united in a shared story that would echo through the ages. Don't forget to subscribe and like if you liked this story.